What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Clocks Runnin, podcast for everything flag football officials. I'm your host, Jacob.
And I'm Ant. I don't know what was that, bro? That was
what? That's called a dramatic entrance, dude. I'm just trying new things.
Okay. Well, give me an example of when a dramatic entrance has been complete silence like that.
Batman.
Movie. Give me what?
Batman. Next
Which
question,
Batman?
please. All of them. Batman.
No, there was definitely music in the background.
Okay, well, not my fault I didn't have music. Moving on.
Okay, sorry. Whoa, somebody's in a hurry to get going with the show.
Let's go.
Oh man. Okay, so we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Instagram is giving us a little issue currently.
Surprise.
But anyway, I'll keep messing with that. But go on to Facebook, go on to YouTube, check us out. We are there. And tonight we have, I don't want to say special because I feel like I always say special guests. These guys are below, whatever's below special.
Stop it, man. These are special guests. They were awesome enough to bring us on their show.
Okay.
I think it's a great pleasure to have all three of them now. It took us 2 different episodes to get all 3 of them together for their episode for Tambo Time. Bring them on, Ant.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, guys?
Oh. I was wondering how long you were going to talk crap while I couldn't talk back.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Just remember that.
John, grab the peanuts. You and I are going to sit back and enjoy. Let these.
And I got a bone to pick with you, buddy. But I can pick it right now, or I don't know what you guys have in store, so I don't want to step all over your show.
Is it the Fours amateur championship that I lost you that you want to start with, or something else?
Whoa. Watch, I'm glad you brought up, but right now I'm going to say I honestly don't remember you ever reffing one of my games, and I'm going to be very honest in that. The only interaction I remember actually having you was when I was trying to coach what was then my girls' team at the time. My team over from my game came on the field to I asked a question, and then I was told to get off the field. I was like, all right, well, it's going to be one of those games already. You seemed already perturbed. I don't know what was said prior to, but no, I don't remember you actually reffing. So which Fours championship game did you cost me?
Well, I'm hold on. You haven't won that many championships in World, so there's probably only one.
You cost me.
Good Lord.
And I've definitely lost a lot more than I've won. That's for sure.
I'm not sure which year it was. It was in Tampa. Maybe it was the first year they had novice and amateur. It was definitely Fours.
In Texas?
No, in Tampa.
Okay.
And I feel like it was the game was in the afternoon. You guys made a real special run. Like, you guys weren't the top seed going into the bracket, and you guys were like winning close game after close game. And actually, I don't think you lost in the championship. It might have been the semifinal. But does that ring a bell at all? I don't know.
That makes a little more sense. Yes.
Okay, in the semifinal.
Our first ever Fours finals that we made to, we won, and then the following year we lost that one. But I didn't remember you being part of that ref crew. I remember those 3.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. Maybe I was skinnier then. I'm not sure.
It was a 4-man game, and did I give you the business?
Yes, go ahead, let them know.
Let's just say between the pool play games that Kevin was giving me the business to the bracket play that you were giving me the business, all I'm going to say is it's not my fault that you took 4 steps past the line of scrimmage and then tried to complete a pass. That's not my fault.
If that's how I know you didn't ref my game, I don't move 4 steps. I'm a pocket. If that's even a thing. That's how I know you're lying. I mean, if I was that much over, I have no leg to stand on to argue that call. So I was probably just hot. I apologize.
No, it's no big deal. Honestly, there's been far worse that's been said to me just this past weekend, by the way. But no, like I said to Kevin when he was on our show, you guys just get excited, you guys get fired up. Now I will definitely say, as far as when, because now that you brought it up, I do remember that women's game. I think with women's flag football, women don't need men coaches or boyfriends on the sideline that think they know what they're doing, or any of those situations. And they should just do things themselves, because usually the guys are the ones that get unsportsmanlike calls. They make a bad mistake. They don't know how to manage the clock. Just let the women do their thing. So I do remember that. I think in general, there was just like a lot of activity on that sideline. So I don't think it was one thing in particular. I think there was just like throughout those games in that bracket, there was just every game, there was some guy that was coming on the sideline. And I got to say this, and it just, after a point, you're like, nope, just stay, get away, stay on the sideline. That's where you belong. So.
No, I mean, that makes a ton of sense. And obviously I didn't continue because I'm sure you would have thrown me out at that point in time. And yeah, I mean, I've talked to my girls team over the years, and I've tried to implicate kind of a no coach thing, kind of do it the way we do it, is we coach ourselves. To me, it's easier, but they preferred me being there. It wasn't like I wanted to be there, and I'd be there for the ladies anytime they wanted me to, but they wanted me there. So yeah, I came over. It was, thanks, Ben. I came over. It was like halfway through the game, and then I was honestly just trying to get some clarification on a call so I could tell the girls what to do. And then I'm being thrown off a field I'm not even playing on.
These are really
I was like, get out of here.
I did ask the girls, like, oh, hey, you guys been giving him a hard time this game? I was able to talk to them. They said no.
Yeah.
But,
we were, you know what, and that's what it was. We were in a rhythm, like we were all in our understanding. Everything's cool, and here comes this guy with a big red beard yelling at me, like, come on.
Oh, so you're intimidated? All right, I get it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I really wasn't yelling. I was honestly, because I remember. I still don't even know what happened on the play because I got no clarification. I was just asking. So if I raised my voice, I apologize.
You probably didn't. I'm really good at not answering questions. I will tell you that. I think there was a situation. In Gatlinburg we had. So we could talk about like the whole challenge procedure as far as that goes. So essentially, you got to call a timeout. And if you want to challenge a procedural call, you could do that. You can't challenge a judgment. Well, anyway, so it was like middle school girls game. There were 3 coaches on the sideline, and one of the coaches had an issue with one call. There was, basically a girl was going for the flag, and they thought it was a little bit more physical than it needed to be. No call. And then the next go around, there was a situation where it was very physical and the call went against that team. So the coach was like, I'm upset about that call. I want to talk about it. And I'm like, you want to call a timeout? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to call a timeout. I said, okay, go ahead, call a timeout. And she was like, well, this is what I saw on that play. And this is what I saw on that play. And I was like, I disagree. Your timeout's over. Let's keep it moving. And that was the end of that. So.
You can understand why that might rub people the wrong way, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. But ultimately, I'm here to keep the game moving. I'm here to make calls. 12-minute halves. We don't have all the time in the world to sit down and have a cup of coffee together.
Right.
So.
Do you guys find that there's got to be a fine line amongst answering questions, explaining kind of what you saw without taking forever and taking it away from the actual game? Do you find it's hard sometimes to meet that fine line, I guess?
Well, I think the biggest thing is people want to have a constant debate. They think it's a matter of opinion, and it's like, that's great, but your opinion's not what matters here, in the most respectful way possible. This is what we saw, this is what it is, this is what we've got, let's keep it moving. If there's something, procedural wrong, let's figure out how to fix it. If it's just a judgment, if you think he stepped out and we don't,
right. How do you
sucks, move on.
Right. I saw him go out. Well, that's not the way I called it. I didn't see it that way. Okay. Yeah, it's got to really end there. It can't, you know what I mean? It can't go any further.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of times, if we open up the door even just a little bit, it's like you give an inch, the person's going to take a mile. I think that's what happens a lot. So the situations where it can kind of be like abrasive, like I'm just going to cut it short here, is probably based on just the history of a lot of players and coaches that want to start with one question and not be satisfied by it, right. And so it starts with the one question and they don't like the answer to that question. And then they want to ask 10 more questions that are really the same, just worded differently.
Right.
So I think that's a part of it too, is kind of, like you said, like that fine line. It's a lot of like, well, what's the history of what we've dealt with as far as flag football players or coaches.
And you tend to kind of get to know people so you kind of understand what they're doing. And will that impact maybe how you treat a situation?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I would say probably more of like, who are the people that maybe you could like joke around with a little bit and they're not going to take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. But I will say, I think across the board, you might have an impression of somebody, and then there's money on the line, or it's a championship game, or they've had a bad day, and they are not that person. So it is really hard to be like, oh, okay, well, this is the interaction me and this coach have always had, and then it looks completely different. I do really try to not joke around so much with players or coaches on the sideline, because I've noticed anytime I've done it, it ends up, I pay for it in the end, because then it's kind of like, oh, well, what about this call? And then things get muddy, I think.
And I mean, if you're an opposing team and you see a ref joking with another player on the other team, or then it becomes a whole, oh, they already know each other, they're friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, optics of it. I mean, the amount of times that officials get called biased, or oh, they're from Florida, why are they officiating YTG games, things like that. Like,
wow, name drop.
Wow, there's smoke, there's fire.
Why don't you go ahead, name the officials. Go ahead.
Us New Hampshire guys coming down, we definitely feel some hometown calls have been called against us. That's for sure. But I don't like to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But in the same situation, I've been called biased. I was in San Antonio one year, and somebody was like, "Oh, these officials are, they're from Texas. This is a Texas team." And right away, I was like, at the time I lived in California. I'm like, I'm from California. I really don't care about either one of these guys, And so after the game, I kind of went up to the coach and I said, "Hey, coach, just so you know, like, I've never seen either one of these teams. I'm from California. So as far as bias goes, like it doesn't exist in this situation." But in my opinion, I feel like when I've officiated, like at a travel tournament, I've officiated teams that I officiate locally. I am stricter with them. Right. I'm way like they are not getting away with anything. And so I think it kind of goes a different way as far as how players I know are officiated. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
But Jacob, thoughts?
About that, I mean, it's a catch-22. I mean, you know, I try to be lighthearted with everybody until I can't be. You know, till once the switch gets flipped, then we're done.
Yeah, it's real tough driving around in the go-kart.
Man, there's 3 of them.
While the guys on
John, don't laugh at
nothing, you know. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm here for when the shit hits the fan. So guaranteed it goes up. So
that's fair.
That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if Jacob's come onto the field, then the situation is far worse than just a simple conversation. You know why? You know that he comes in to put out massive fires for sure. So you know, how were local officials with you guys when you see them on, you know, at national tournaments? Is that weird for you guys? Would you guys rather have different officials? How does that work?
You talking our local officials?
Yeah.
I've never seen them on the field. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I mean sometimes it's nice to see a familiar face for sure, but it doesn't really go beyond that. I do like to know the type of refs. You know, they're going to let us play. Is it they call it by the book? Can I talk to a ref? Can I, you know, I like to know the ref that way. That way I can, you know, do my best to you know, help my team in any way. But you know, as far as seeing a familiar face, no, I don't tend to carry the way, you know. Who's there, as long as they weren't beat up for 10 hours before I showed up and had to play, you know, have to play.
Yeah.
I usually try to come up, hey, how's your day going? Just so they can give me a little insight on, you know, I guess how red the beard gets. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, you know what, and it's kind of funny because I feel like when I come to a coin toss, like that's my opportunity. I don't have a long period of time, but that's my opportunity to really like set the stage and be like, this is my expectation of this field and what it's going to look like for the next 24 minutes. And when captains come up and they kind of give off their impression of like, whether it's like they're not listening to me at all, they're just joking around with the other captain, like it, you know, they also kind of set the stage as well. Like, oh, we don't care what you have to say. Like, we've got it all figured out, kind of deal. Right. Then I know that there's going to be a lot of problems, you know, during that game. Yeah. So I think that's you know, that's part of it too. So we started the conversation a little bit. I did hint at it. This past weekend, there was some fun in Camel City. I don't know if you guys know this, but Camel City is the top contact league in the nation. There was like, I don't know, when was it? How long ago was it when you guys won in Tampa or something?
Keep going. You started. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
So anyway, this past week,
I don't know. No.
This past weekend, you guys have never heard of Camel City?
No. Well, what I was going to ask, where's Camel City? Is it Ohio? I don't know. Ben, you got an answer?
Yeah, Ben, where is it?
Yeah.
No idea.
Okay, thanks.
Ben
making fun of me, but he doesn't have the answers.
He is a sea of disappointment today.
Camel City. All right. Well, there was a lot of tournaments this weekend.
Yeah, that's true.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I would say that's some of the top contact talent around in the world for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, this is my second time going to. First time I went to the playoffs, but you know, Bex was there and they just like dollywopped everybody, and so it's not too much. This was a draft tournament, which was a lot of fun. There was just like a lot of cool stuff going on. They all had custom jerseys, and like the first pick had flags, the last pick got flags. Cool backpacks by Shrooms for the championship team. You know, just like all kinds of stuff going on. Anyway, this is a situation where I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to go into great detail of anything, but there was a situation that I was involved with where lines were crossed as far as what was said to me as an official. And I wanted to kind of pick your guys' brains as far as how you feel from your perspective. What is too far as far as what can be said to an official? What do you think is justified to get an unsportsman flag? What are your thoughts, Ted?
All right, so coming from a player standpoint, what is too far?
Yeah.
To generate a flag, let's say, an unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're so abruptive that the game can't continue, I'd say that generates it. Swearing is tough. There's a little gray area with that, if a guy goes, "Oh, you fucking kidding me?" That's one thing to say, "Hey, you fucking idiot." There's a little two different, swears there.
Yep.
I never try to get personal with the ref, and I never try to swear. So I honestly, and I've lived mostly by that. You never really hear me swear too much at refs. But yeah, I think if you start crossing the line with name calling, swearing, and and just maybe berating a ref, the unsportsmanlike comes out. If you start threatening a ref, then it goes even further. To me, in my opinion. I don't know where you guys stand,
That's if you're threatening anybody, right?
About the same. About the same.
Yeah, and I think, that's kind of where I land. I do think that there is a general, people have in their day-to-day conversation cuss words. So I don't think just cussing can be like an all-encompassing. I used to play in like a Christian football league that literally, if you cussed, you had to sit for 7 plays. So like, it didn't matter if you were like just frustrated by, something that you messed up or anything like that. Literally, if a ref heard it, you're out for 7 plays, and it would be a big deal. Like, you would be shorthanded for those 7 plays. So it could completely change the game. So I don't think it necessarily like needs to be that drastic, but I do think that the moment that the cuss words or the abrasiveness starts to turn towards an official, I think that's kind of where that flag becomes justified. Like I mentioned the coin toss earlier, I give my unsportsmanlike warning in the coin toss so that I can just say out the gate, let's treat each other with respect, treat the crew with respect, and anything outside of football is going to be 15 yards, auto first, loss of down. Ultimately, a lot of captains don't listen to that. I've been very surprised lately that when I say that and then my flag comes out and somebody's like, "What? We don't get a warning?" And the captain's like, "He gave it to us." Like it's like it's nice to have that. But yeah, I just I do notice though that there is a lot of, especially when I first started officiating, that like when I was traveling nationally for the first time, it was like 2022. Every official was getting cussed out, all the time. It was just like, this is the culture. This is how everyone's going to get, going to treat the officials. And I think it has started to change, and maybe a lot of flags has done that. Jacob, do you think it has changed over the years?
To an extent. I think you get some of the riffraff out. People realize, hey, we're either going to play football or we're going to go to the parking lot and crack cold ones. And depends on how early you want to do that.
Yeah.
Watch your language.
So
I didn't know if you guys could hear the sound bite. Sorry.
We
great.
did. Yeah,
please play.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Here we go. This is the Ben show now, you guys.
Thanks,
Bring
Ben.
it back,
We
Ben.
couldn't do this without you, pal.
So Tambo, now if you put yourself in, I don't know if you ref at all.
I have ref. Yeah.
Okay, so put your stripes on. What would be a word or a phrase that you would be like, that's it. We're going to the parking lot. Like, you've completely crossed the line. You're way past flags. Like, I'm going to fight you. Well, would there be something that someone could say to you?
Oh my God.
Why are you laughing?
Because I got everything like 5.
You say to me daily.
Yeah. Good morning.
I mean, honestly,
Good morning.
As a ref, and some people might disagree because I haven't refed in a while, but I was refing consistently for a long time. I have a pretty thick skin. There's not too much that people are gonna say to me personally that I wouldn't say to myself. Honestly, like no. But if you start talking about my family members, some of my close friends, then I might, I probably would at that point in time. But to me personally, not really. Like I was given a little hard time because I had too thick of a skin. I wasn't throwing enough flags because the league I repped in for a while, they really want to do like a no nonsense, almost too PC. I don't know. Like, it was bad. Like, they wanted people throwing out. You get suspended the next game if you were thrown out of a game, and you could have been thrown out of a game for literally not swearing. They had this side talk rule. Like, if you went to the sidelines and you said to somebody, wow, I really didn't agree with that call, and you're literally talking to your captain or whatever, if a ref heard you, they could call it quote unquote side talk and throw you out of the game.
Is that the Kevin McDonald rule?
Which that league, Kevin McDonald is still kicked out of.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, I mean, so I was actually kind of given a little bit of a hard time for not enforcing the rules they went the way, because I just couldn't. Like, it's football. Some guys are gonna get mad. They're gonna be heated. It is what it is. But yeah, no, I mean, you'd have to really be pestering me all game, and we all know certain fight words. You'd have to be throwing those up and down all game for me to want to fight you personally. But yeah, if you did get personal to my son, my family, I'd probably fight pretty quick over there. My producer, yeah. Sorry, we went too long without talking about him. That's my fault, guys.
Yeah.
45-second intervals,
Yeah,
man. Got to be wrong.
I thought the lie detector was on and it was definitely going to go off.
I mean, is there a basis to that question, a reason for it, or was it just
no?
For me personally?
No, it is kind of funny to me though. And I've lived all over the country. I was born and raised in Colorado. I lived in California for like almost 10 years. Now I'm in Ohio. And so I would say probably for me, a lot of like my understanding and like what I was raised around is like West Coast stuff. I didn't touch down anywhere in the South until like, I don't know, 2021 or something like that. So I spent almost my entire life not being exposed to anyone in the South at all, not being in Florida, never being in the Carolinas or Tennessee or anything like that. And so it's very different for me how like people each kind of have their trigger words or their phrases where they're like, yeah, if somebody says this to me, like I'm done. Like, like Jacob better pick me up in his golf cart and take me off the field because I got to get out of that situation. Right. And so like, it's just interesting. You're coming from a different region of the country. And so I just wanted to, kind of pick your brain on that. Jacob, you've probably had a lot of things thrown at you or anything like that. Was there anything where you're like, that was close. Like I was almost there.
It's probably the time I made fun of his beard.
What beard?
Oh well, I mean,
Hey yo.
If he's looking from underneath it, I would have a lot to say about
it. That's a short joke, Ben. I know you didn't get that one.
But no, I mean, there's been one instance where I've been pushed enough and throughout the weekend, and finally the one straw got put, final straw on the camel's back, and I snapped. But I mean, not usually. Most of the time I just laugh it off, and I think that's what most people need to do. I mean, it's words.
Yeah.
And you're a big dude. I wouldn't want to mess with you.
For the most part, I don't care. I don't have the energy. Most of my energy is put into breaking them up, not starting them. So
yeah.
But I know John's got my back, so we're good.
Well, depends on who you're yelling at.
Don't that bullshit.
I'll let you get a couple swings in first, and then I'll come over.
Wow.
Throwing or taking, it depends.
Hey, yo.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Go ahead. I was getting ready to change the subject.
Oh, okay. I also think that it's interesting as far as an official goes to try to see what the temperature of the game is. Like you were saying earlier about like cuss words, once they start to turn in like that abrasive way to official compared to just like saying it in a regular sentence. I think it's also as far as like understanding that everybody from different regions has different trigger words. And so like there has to kind of sometimes be this blanket like, okay, I heard that word, and in the past that has been something that like gets people to want to fight. And then I've thrown a flag and everybody's like, what? We say that all the time. That's no big deal at all. Like what, and I'm like, yeah, but I can't pick and choose like that, because if I've heard that word before and it led to both sidelines emptying, and now in this situation, the entire field is like, you're an idiot, ref. Like, why did you throw that flag?
Right.
What word is it, and why is it Ben's favorite word?
Delete.
It's a word that I don't say. So.
Well, the
politician.
Not the politician.
That's definitely one, Jacob, for sure. Some people are really affected by that, and others don't care.
A lot of people. Second you say the word bitch, everybody's ready to go.
Oh yeah.
And I could care less about that word. Like if you call me that, you'll get a flag, but it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Some places it's definitely a fighting word, and there's been some tournaments around here where you even telling somebody they're bitching about calls, it gets a little dicey there.
Yep.
So
I can't wait to yell at them about like how Jackie Moon yelled at the ref.
You start quoting Jackie Moon clips at him.
You told me to ask my seat. No, I didn't.
He would pull you right out.
He
wouldn't get the joke.
Yeah,
that's such a classic.
So
Ant didn't do this in the beginning, like he almost always does. I don't know what's going on. He was just so excited to talk to you guys.
I was excited. Tambo started out asking questions. It's his fault.
Hey, is this Tambo time or is this clock's running?
Sorry. I thought it was clock's running and he took over.
No, he didn't.
This is why I wanted Ben in the camera tonight.
Oh my god!
I'll wave at you.
There we go.
There we go.
You trying to lose the female viewers, or?
Oh man, if you lose female viewers, we got bad news.
He could totally be a hand model.
Yeah.
All right. So usually, what we have when we have new guests come on the show, we ask for your origin story. We ask for your, how you got into flag football, what got you guys started. Like, take as little or as long as you want to explain. But Tambo, we'll start with you. And John.
Ben's go first. Ben has to.
Can I tell Ben's origin story?
1,000%.
Yes, actually, you should tell Ben's origin story because that's great.
Origin story.
It's a great origin story.
Ben, do you want to tell it, or?
Yeah, I think it's funnier it comes from you.
Well, yeah.
But this is your show.
All right, so I'll tell Ben's origin story first. I tore an Achilles twice, and when I was finally coming back, I had to find a league that was easy on just to ease myself into it. This is something with no contact, low risk, whatever. Well, there's a big co-ed league up here. I say it's big. It's been going on for a long time. It's very stupid rules. You cannot rush the quarterback until like 7 seconds. Like, it's kind of like crazy. Quarterback really doesn't. He could stand there and throw all day. I'm like, perfect. This is a great league to whatever. I end up signing up. as a free agent, whatever, joined a free agent team, and Ben happened to be on the team, and Ben was just kind of a guy. Was that your first time playing flag football?
No, not in that.
Oh,
league.
you did it in a mural
in that league.
Okay,
yes, but not.
But Ben didn't know the rules. Like we're in a mom's pop league. Ben's running across the field, letting light somebody up, and I'm like, Ben, no, it's non-contact.
I played in a contact league in college. That's why.
Yeah, that guy I saved.
I'm used to.
So, and either way, the whole season goes by. We actually took
That's
free
how you
agent
saved Kevin McDonald's life.
Yeah. We took a free agent team to the finals, and it was a goofy team we were playing, and they're just talking crap to
only lost by 1 point.
Right. Either way, they're talking a bunch of crap. And I'm hanging out and I'm talking to a couple people. I'm like, I was a little fired up. I get a little, all right, that's it. I'm gonna get my boys. We're gonna get back in this league. I'm getting my teams. And we were talking about playing again, getting a team in. Well, unfortunately, Ben is 10 feet away, like hanging on a fence, just staring at us talking. And somebody's like, all right, who do you want to bring? I'm like, this guy, this girl, and we'll get all these other people from our tournament teams and stuff like that. And I go, unfortunately, we got to take Ben. He's been watching us this whole conversation. Otherwise, it'd be real awkward. And years later, now he plays wherever, and now he's doing the podcast with me. And
I built your podcast out.
So,
so my angle, my slight angle to that story is, I was like looking, I was looking for a long time trying to find a place to play. Because I played in college, and coming out of it, this was like circa like 2021. So COVID was, all the restrictions were like just letting up, and I'm like, I gotta do something to get out of the house, make some more friends, like that type of thing. So the whole thing, I meet Steve and a bunch of people through the league, and at the end, like he makes it sound like I was staying super pro. I don't think I was, but
that's stalker distance.
Not stalker
distance. Well, I say that's a fair.
Yeah, I was within like 10 feet of the conversation, but I'm like, damn it, I'm into this league to make some friends. You guys have me now.
So still working on the friends thing.
Well,
that word's pretty weird. I get it,
but no, it's a lot of fun, and it's been fun hanging with these guys.
Oh,
got some playing, a couple tournaments here and there too. So,
and another cool story with that, I had a sister-in-law. My brother's wife was playing with us. My brother wasn't. And you see the group chat. He doesn't know anybody. My last name's her last name, and I had a girl I was dating at the time playing with me, and I kissed that girl. And Ben's like, oh, I thought you had a wife. This is cool. Because at that game, my sister-in-law wasn't there, and he thought I was being a cheater, a weirdo, whatever. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I thought it was cool. So I swear to God, I remember him saying that.
Very confused.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, man.
Like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, honestly. But I mean, he was more confused. I just didn't think he knew what to say at the time. And
I was like, you do think, bro?
I'll tell you guys, like, one of my favorite things at these tournaments, and it's the funniest thing to like. I'm a people watcher, right? But you realize how many of these dudes come out there with their side chicks, and I'll never call anybody by name. I'll never call anybody out. But you see it, and you're just like, man, that's funny, especially when you start introducing people to people, and and it's like, man, this is A1.
Yep. You want to go next, or?
I feel like I already told them, but
if you did, you did.
I mean, I played flag football, semi-pro, everything for like years, and then I was always in Boston playing, and then just the drive just kept getting worse and worse because it kept getting further and further in New Hampshire. So I said, screw it. Drew, one of the refs from around here who's seen me play in Boston, said there's a couple leagues locally in like Lowell and New Hampshire and stuff, and I said, jump in and try to figure it out, and I did, and kind of just been rolling ever since.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
And then he moved to Mashup.
Cool. Those origin stories were brought to you by Tacky Bar, right, Jacob?
They were brought to you by Tacky Bar. Kev.
Yeah, you can't even see it.
I can't even see it.
Actually, poor execution.
Actually, Kev,
listen.
Relax. I just said Jacob and Ben up, and this is the best you guys did. Jacob, usually you have a whole little commercial every time I mention Tacky Bar.
But you force it, and when you force it, it's not as good.
Yeah, I got one for you guys.
I got.
Hang on 1 second.
Ready? Hi, I'm the owner of Tacky Bar.
There you go.
We got a little plug.
Oh, okay. So
That's right there, though. Our bits
man, I
can't go
thought it was
longer than that, I
the
guess.
whole thing, and then it's just
I know.
Kev from Taggy Bar.
Well,
Ke-
not
Ke-
getting Ben here.
Kevin's actually the reason John started to play with me. Kevin made that. He introduced that
Oh,
relationship.
nice. Look at Kev.
You know
making
what?
things happen.
Well, no, Kevin was just getting rid of dead weight is what he did, and I was
That's brutal.
just kidding, big
Actually,
guy.
all three of us have played on Tacky Bar, so
That is true.
I will definitely. I've been witness to Kevin single-handedly winning games because of his skills at the rush position. Do you agree with that?
Oh, 1,000%. Oh,
I mean, I don't know what Tampa it was, but it was like it was a back and forth game, and you guys were down by 1 point, and Kevin got a safety, go up by 1, and all you had to do, like you just had to kneel it out, and like it was.
Yeah, I remember I was preparing. I'm like, all right, what plays am I gonna run? What has been working? Yada yada yada. I'm not even thinking, we could do something here. We're gonna get the ball back. What do I gotta do? Even if they score, obviously they could go for 2, go up 9. But so I'm thinking all these scenarios. All of a sudden Kevin gets the safety, and all I need to do is just kneel the ball. I'm like, nice. That's what he brings to the table sometimes.
The sprint,
Definitely.
it can help.
Definitely.
That and a friggin' headache too sometimes.
I actually do have a question because something that happened to us recently in Contact 5 men's on extra point.
Okay.
Is there last man, and do you get the points if you cause a penalty?
So regular 5-man contact rules, rush right off the line. Those.
Yep. So everybody, all the officials agreed it was last man, no question. Nobody else was going to have an opportunity at him.
Correct, but it was an extra point though.
So you would just get the 2 points for the defensive conversion.
So you would get the points.
All right.
Yeah, you'd get the points. Yeah.
If everybody agreed it was last man.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, then I'm sorry that I asked that question. I thought that was going to go totally different
Why?
because Kev
Why
said
is
it
it
was
sorry?
not gonna- So Kevin was adamant that that is not the rule because it's an extra point, so it didn't really matter. It wasn't a touchdown, so you don't get points on it. That's why he kind of held or something.
No, I mean if it's egregious and everybody on the field agree, like officials wise agrees, like the last man should be invoked, then yeah, you get the 2 points.
No,
Now,
I'm
if
done.
there's
What's that
now,
word
if
again
there's-
right now?
You got that dumb button? He just threw Kevin under the bus.
No. We got all those words now. Can't do anything to us now.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people overcomplicate like the extra points. It's
Yeah.
It was because it was not within the 5-yard line of the end zone.
and that
doesn't
that's
matter.
not
It's
part of the
final.
rule.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying, Kevin. Sorry. Let's give him
Yeah,
another scenario.
I gotta pull up these comments.
No, you don't. It's okay. So Kevin's understanding was USA flag has the last man holding only within the 5. Within
Yep.
the 5.
Any foul that occurs in that final line to gain. So from midfield on, I mean, if anything checks that criteria,
So it
or
doesn't
if
matter
all-
if it's in the 5-yard line of the end zone or anything.
yeah.
No, and it doesn't just have to be a hold. It could be a tackle. It could be a force out.
Well, be prepared for those words to be said to you, I guess.
Good.
What is that? Is that a threat? Am I supposed to be intimidated by it? Don't worry. Kevin's team will throw a game by poor clock management anyway. So
Well, it's good.
I don't have to worry.
It's a good thing we know you don't hold on to things for like how many years he's been waiting to say this.
That's all right. I mean, the whole first half of the show was hung on from this past weekend, so I get it.
I'm like,
Hey,
you know
guys,
what's
before going the whole origin story, I need to know.
He didn't stop talking before when he mentioned contact and everything. I was going to ask then, but I have to segue now.
It was Hey, it's just the fact that I've been made fun of since Saturday about what happened on Saturday. So it's fresh on my mind.
Because you keep bringing it up.
Well, yeah, because I was an innocent bystander, sir. This is why I only ref novice or amateur. Okay, I'm just I can't handle the whiny babies in pro anymore.
We get it. We get it. So talk to me guys about Tambo Time. Talk to me about how you guys come up with the money lines. Talk to me about where you guys get everything and where everything comes from.
Wow, this guy's been paying attention to the show.
That's a lot of questions at once.
Okay, well, all right. Well, just generalize it.
He doesn't usually ask questions. He usually.
I gotta get somebody's got to.
Pretty quiet.
Still on his soapbox.
No, you're good. Honestly, as stupid as it is, growing up being on the radio was one thing, like one of those dream jobs I always had.
Okay.
And I always joked that I was going to try it somehow or do something, along the lines. And with this particular topic, I just needed a nudge or somebody else that wanted to do it. I never advertised it, never really talked to anybody about it. I had a kid from that soft league that we kind of referred to come up to me, and because he was getting he was making some posts that were getting some traction, a lot of comments. He said, "What if we did a podcast for this league?" And I said to him, I go, honestly, I'd be down for sure, and I have ways to do it. I've always thought about it, I go, but only if you're in it to win it. Like, I don't want to do 3 episodes and then stop, because it's a little bit of investment the way I wanted to do it. And he said no, he'll be in it. He told me he was in it for good, and unfortunately that wasn't the case. But we did get rolling, and we did probably get, I want to say 50 episodes with him. We did a special, and he might have been on that episode. So he was. All right. Yeah, so we did at least 50 episodes. So we went a good year, and then he's from New Hampshire. He met a girl on a dating app who lived in Alaska, and now they're like married and in like 3 months, and she moved here. And
oh my God.
He
awesome.
Decided he didn't have any time for anything else, but
well,
what's his nickname now? Is it
oh yeah. Well, did he change it?
He did?
Yeah.
He posted the other day, and I changed it in the group. It was like Pretty Baby Pony or something like that.
Pink Pony Club?
oh my God.
Yeah. Well, either way. So once, he was kind of getting off of doing that, I'm like, all right, well, I'll try to do some normal shows. And the league that we do a lot of shows for approached me and said they lost their podcast guys for whatever reason. Would I like to do it? I decided, and I checked in with those guys too to make sure they didn't leave on bad terms. I didn't, whatever. But they said, go ahead. They gave me their blessing. It took about a season to get a real co-host to come in all the time. And John, Ben jumped in a while into it because he knew how bad the producing was. So Ben, and mind you, it took months of Ben bugging me to get on the show and help me. Like, he kept we'd go out after football every week, and he'd just throw it in there. Yeah, listen to the show. The soundboard was a little weird. I could fix that for you. And he would just show little, and I'm like, fine, Ben, but don't be a herb and not commit. And then he's still here. I'll give him credit.
Someone's still here.
Right.
It was 4 or 5 episodes in. I started getting a little.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 4 or 5 episodes in, he's critiquing the guy. He wants me to kick this other guy off. And
I made it clear I was going to kick him off.
Either way. So we jumped onto that league, and it's been real consistent doing that league. When the league's not going on, we'll try to do regular shows. I have the stuff now. I might as well just see for shits and giggles if I'm any good at, having a quote unquote radio show. But that's kind of the basis of it. And honestly, John's been a huge, no pun intended, a huge anchor in it, and really helping me go. And honestly, a lot of times he's doing 90% of the work. I'm just showing up, drunk and whatever, just having fun. And Ben helps out too. That's kind of the basis of the show. John's got some plans to grow the show. I kind of like where we're at a little bit, but I'm open to ideas for sure.
Yeah, we're slowly expanding, not too fast, not too slow, but getting bigger and bigger.
Like this was one of his ideas that I didn't want to do, but I'm like, I'm not always right. I'll jump on, talk to these guys who really don't like me.
I mean, it's already paying off.
Yeah, don't do us any favors.
And what were the other questions? I already forgot.
So he had 35 other questions that he threw at you.
Okay, so questions 43 and 44. So when you're looking at the teams, who makes the money lines? Is that you? Is that John?
So that was kind of my doing. Is we found some shady underground Vegas guy that actually does that for kind of allegedly his job, and he has some algorithms and stuff that he kind of really put everything into. We kind of gave him the stats and kind of the standings and everything, and he just ran with it. And
Nice.
he kind of just, it's all for fun. Nothing really serious with it, and he just kind of puts it together, and we kind of just run with it and add it to the show, kind of just like what we did with the Carlos clips and stuff like that, trying to put highlights on the show and things like that. So slowly making more out of the show than just a couple. We're talking about flag football. It's going to happen this weekend. See you later.
And the lines and the odds, they're kind of legit. The guy has an algorithm that's not for the public. It's a very private algorithm.
One of the cool things too about that league is they are really heavy on keeping stats.
Right.
So we got a lot. They got a lot of data to work with, like even across 8 seasons now or something like that.
And we always everybody. I mean, there's a lot of movement in this particular league, and a lot of chats and guys arguing about this and that, and some of these algorithms will actually give a little insight and not really end those debates, but help certain guys fight those arguments.
And he was very impressed with how much stats and everything he could work off of. Like he's like, oh wow, this makes it a lot easier for him. He just had to plug it in and then kind of let it do its thing.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. So for the most part, these money lines are pretty accurate.
I mean, it's the first kind of time he's doing it, so we'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
But I guess Sunday will probably be the real test.
Yeah. We'll see.
Why are you trying to put some little action here? Or?
I mean, I got $3 I can play with. I mean, you tell me what you guys what's available. I'm a gambling man.
John's entire Tambo Time salary.
All right. You ever heard of Mike Howe? Put the money on Mike Howe.
Mike Howe. All right.
He'll win.
Writing it down right now. I feel like you're leading me down a path, but
send a bet in to Joey Bova for Explosion. Bet the house.
Joey Boba, bet the house. $3 whole. Got it.
Hey, so real quick, guys, I just been seeing the comments on Facebook. We've been graced by top 5 dead or alive. Deuce Dutch. What's up, Deuce?
Here we go.
He's on his soapbox right now on the comments. So comments are a little crazy right now, but shout out to Deuce. Anyway.
So according to this real quick, does everybody know how to tie their own shoes?
I prefer slip-ons though.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I'm fat, so it's easy. Like bending over to tie shoes, it's not a fun thing. I get it.
Even my cleats are Velcro.
Tambo, you wear New Balances, bro. Come on, you're not wearing cleats anymore. You don't move in the backfield, bro. Come on.
But what's wrong with wearing New Balances?
It's a quarterback is not moving, and they're just gonna do the little hip movement when they're wearing New Balances instead of cleats. Yep.
So okay.
What? Yeah. What? Did you see the other comments, Jacob?
No, it's just a bunch of Kevin.
Well, there's one that you'll bet chicken nuggets. I'll take that bet.
Hold on. What's this about chicken nuggets?
Someone said that you'll bet the house with chicken nuggets.
1,000% will. 1,000% will.
The most important thing in the world to him. So guys, the next thing I want to just. Jacob, are you done with your 43 questions?
Yeah, I got mine done. You're good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, no, I think the soapbox is over. I don't know. Anyway. Are there rules that we're talking USA flag rules? Is there a specific rule that completely frustrates you that you never feel like it is really the right call either way, whatever the call is? Anything come to mind?
Yeah, I got one that I think should be changed. Really, honestly, across all boards. To me, mainly, all right. Either way, in stoppage time, okay, you don't do stoppage time if someone's up more than one score, which to me is absolutely insane. You have timeouts and stoppage time. It should be over 2 scores in my opinion. If somebody has the ball, or if I have the ball and I'm down 9, okay, if I can score quick, or use stoppage time to score. Now I got timeouts and stoppage time. It becomes more football, but it's just one of those things where a lot of the games could be changed, or you'd have a lot of better comebacks. We're not running the clock down, like that when you're down 9 points. I always thought that was kind of ridiculous because within the football realm, you still have a chance to come back with stoppage time and timeouts. So to me, that's one of the rules I've always hated, and I really wish was maybe either tried out at some tournament to make sure the games don't go longer than they should. I understand the time crunch. I don't know if it's been brought up before or if I'm just an innovator, but that's one of the rules that I absolutely hate. Another one that seems to be very inconsistent across the board is the impeding rush. A lot of refs call it different. And to the point where sometimes I'll even ask a ref, what he thinks impeding is or how he's going to call it before we do it. Because as a quarterback, I need to know, and another thing, as a quarterback, some refs call it the straight path to wherever the quarterback is moving or go. Some of them call it based where the quarterback takes the snap. That's the straight line. So they'll call that instead of, let's say, a rolling impeding call, So that's probably the only thing. I really actually genuinely appreciate your guys' tournaments and leagues and the rules. I think you guys, have it down. I don't really have much to complain about except maybe those 2 things.
So I guess I've never the point differential's never been a hill like I've ever, really I've heard the complaint about it, but it's never been one of those that for me the hill to die on. Because I guess the biggest counter for me, and I look at the way, with officials, when people say that one call blew the game, it's like, well, is that final minute? What did you do with the other, 23? No, I get we're in that situation.
1,000%. But a lot can happen using stoppage time properly in those timeouts.
1,000%. Absolutely, completely agree. And I think it's just a momentum thing. It's just to keep the momentum of the day moving. That's essentially what the rules in place for. Yeah. Impeding, I definitely agree. It's one of the most inconsistent. It's the biggest thing I probably harp on before any tournament, because I can go down the street and someone tells me that the rusher's got to run into a player in order to get an impeding call. I can go, 3 fields over and someone's going to tell me the exact opposite, and nobody, you don't get a consistent answer, which it's very frustrating, So I try to harp on exactly what it's supposed to be, way it's supposed to be, defined, and hope that people get it right. So I always try to tell people we can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Is it flag guarding when you dip and you put your arm down?
It can be. Yep.
Yeah, it could be.
Towards the side that they're trying to come in and grab the flag.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's one I never really see called. Like I see a lot of people dipping and have the arm down and it's kind of on the side, or if they're trying to, then it's never called.
Yeah. Not to justify it, but I think the biggest thing is usually I'll give credit, like when the guys who do it, or even the ladies, they're quick, and so it happens in a split second. And if an official looks the wrong way or tries to get it at a different angle and misses it, it goes missed, and it's really frustrating, especially when you're standing on the sideline and it happens right in front of you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, back to the impeding. The definition of impeding is to delay or prevent someone or something by obstructing them. Doesn't necessarily mean contact, and that's kind of what I always try to argue. And
nothing to do with contact.
Yep.
Right.
There is no contact in an impeding call. If you make contact with a rusher, it's an illegal contact call. But you're only protected to the line of scrimmage as a rusher. So
yeah. So both your descriptions, from what I heard, I don't want to put words in your mouth or anything, but the two descriptions you gave was one is the right of way to where the quarterback catches the ball. That's not correct. And you said rolling, that the line is to where the rolling quarterback is. So it is actually to the line of scrimmage. And so anything in the backfield, that you can't have an impeding in the backfield.
So let's say it's to the line of scrimmage, which I definitely agree with. Let's say I take the snap and I immediately jet to the right. Now the path is to the line of scrimmage, but it's not straight to where I was. It's straight to where I am, but that path stops at the line of scrimmage. So straight to where I was.
Yes. Straight to where you were. Yep.
Okay.
The original spot.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So,
I will say this, just like Jacob said, not to justify it, because ultimately there are some things that happen where an official doesn't read the rule books, or they don't know this, or they happen to be looking at something else or whatever. But I will say this, as far as impeding goes, angles play such a big role in it. If, as an official, I am on the line of scrimmage and the rusher is on the opposite side of a bunch from where I am, it's going to be really hard for me to tell if hesitation happens.
Yeah.
So it might be extremely obvious to the quarterback. It might be very obvious to the rusher that it happened. But from where I am, it's kind of impossible to see that. Whereas if I'm behind the quarterback, I'm going to see very clearly what's going on and being able to see that impeding. So that's one of those calls that angles play a really big role in it. I'll say also, just as far as like being downfield, you can't follow all the matchups. So especially when there's a deep route and a mid-range route, and all of that. So I have had situations where I just happen to pick the wrong matchup, and then something happens 5 feet away from me, and at the last second, I'm bringing my eyes over, and I've missed it. And so from a player standpoint, they're like, you were literally right there. How did you miss that? And it was like, because I was watching the mid-range matchup,
right.
And my eyes didn't come over fast enough. So, those things, kind of factor into as well what, I guess inconsistencies, or however you want to put it.
But again, when you split the field in half with two refs, it's kind of tough,
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes my suggestion to the guys because I run some tournaments, and my suggestion to some refs who want to hear it is, don't watch it as a fan. Watch it as a ref. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking for calls. So look and scan. Don't watch the game as you'd watch it on TV.
Right.
Is really what I suggest. And I only learned that myself because I found I was able to see more if I'm not watching the game as a game, if I'm watching it as a ref.
Yeah. Apparently, my dad, apparently Deuce Dutch he said he could ref the whole field from being the back judge by himself. I don't know. I want to see that in person, and I want to see how many missed calls happen in that game. Because I do not think, maybe you're talking 6-year-olds. I think maybe one official would be able to officiate a perfect game. But the speed of flag football is so fast now, and is only getting faster. The players are only getting more athletic. At the pro level, to officiating with two officials is so challenging. Even with 3, 4, sometimes there are 5 officials on the field. It is still, you still are going to miss things. It's just, there's always going to be blind spots on the field. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, I think Deuce is a great ref. I really do, but I don't think he's not God.
Jacob, thoughts?
Anyway, so We'll keep it moving, fellas.
I'm the one always dry snitching, and Jacob's like, in this scenario, at this random weekend, maybe something happened.
Sucks to say.
Go ahead, Jacob.
No, everything. I'm good.
Yeah. What was the? You know what? And honestly, though, Tambo, I don't hate the stop clock. Having the stop clock. I think that's that. I'm gonna say it. That's not a terrible idea. I understand time constraints, but yeah, there are some teams that being down 9 could come back. But I think across like the large majority of flag football players do not know how to manage a clock. So even if you were to give them a stop clock down by 9 points with, let's say it's aired out and they have all 3 timeouts, they're still going to mess it up.
Right.
It
is one of the biggest blunders from some of these teams, just piss poor game management, clock management.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it because I'm sure I was at some point in time in my career that I didn't know how to, and I'm sure I still make mistakes with it, but I feel that's one of my strengths.
And the funniest thing to me is watching some of these youth coaches manage a clock, and especially get down to the last minute. And you really, the best part is these people are supposed to be like, they turn out to be like the volunteers, and it's the moms and dads who don't know. And it becomes more blatant. That's how you find out. But to watch some of these folks, just, I mean, you'll get in the final minute. All right, clock's rolling. Here we go. And they're just taking their sweet time. So,
and you as a ref, you kind of, hey, clock's running. You just gotta give them a little heads up. But
that's, you try to do everything without coaching them,
just in case they didn't hear me the first time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and it's funny the amount of times that like I'll have a quarterback look over me and say something like, "Oh, I could just kneel it out, right?" And I'm like, "You do whatever you want to do." And then by me not giving them an answer, that their brain explodes, and then they throw 3 incomplete passes, and only 6 seconds have gone off the clock, and now they've turned it over, and like it's crazy.
Right.
But like they want to be coached by officials, and that's not our job to do that. Like so.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I mean, I will say that is the one thing where I'm like, yeah, this is so far away from, and maybe that's why teams feel like they do need a coach. But just like Jacob said, we get into youth, and there are guys and girls that are pro flag football players that are coaching youth teams, and they are terrible at managing the clock.
Yep.
And and it's like, what do you're not teaching the next generation the correct way, and because ultimately, like, this stuff's not going to change. As far I know, as far as like international play, it is a longer clock, but there's still a clock you have to manage at the end of the game. It comes down to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. How many games have you seen blown because of it? Or hey, another set of ton of games where people are actually giving somebody else a chance to come back in the game or when they didn't need to. So yeah, I've seen it. I've been involved in it for sure.
What was that scenario? What was it like? The QB wanted to kneel it, but he couldn't technically kneel it, and if he did, it was a penalty. Remember? Was that Worlds? Where like we almost called the game, but if he was gonna kneel it, and if he did, it was gonna be a penalty, and then lose the ball and stuff.
Is there any kneeling penalties?
Only thing I can think of would be co-ed.
Okay,
because I could think of the
because of the gender.
Yep, that's the only thing that comes to mind.
Wasn't
now if it's a closed play and a girl takes the snap, she can't kneel it either, right? Or does it become just another? Okay.
She's got to do something with it. She's got to do something to cross the line of scrimmage with it.
What about the 5-second rule where you hold it for 5 seconds if they don't rush? Does that stop the clock? Is that a penalty in any way? I know it's a coverage sack essentially, but
if it's a closed play and a female takes a sack there, yeah, you could stop the clock.
Not necessarily in a closed play, just a general play anywhere.
Oh, a general
Like,
play? No.
Let's say 4-man, 5-man, whatever.
Yeah.
They decide not to rush. There's 10 seconds left. You know,
in contact,
outside
you're
of-
going to run it out.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I
And in non, it'll go. You get the 5 seconds, and then you just go to the next down.
Right. And the clock still keeps moving, right?
Yep. Right.
Yeah. Is that kind of what you were alluding to? Or?
I think so, but I forget what the scenario. I think it was like something where the QB couldn't run, and if he kneeled it, technically he's kind of running or something.
Air it out, maybe? Was it? Can you give me context behind it?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was like 4-and-4 air it out, and the QB was like, "Oh, I can just kneel it out." Technically,
right. There's no 4-and-4 aired out.
Well,
sorry.
whatever.
He tries to think, but nothing happens.
Listen.
Okay, now you know what? Now I understand your guys' frustration. Ben, get out of here, Ben. I'm done with you.
Scenario, but it was like he was gonna do something that he probably could have got penalized for, and
yeah,
wasn't given the.
I'm not sure. I can't think of a scenario where.
Air it out. Maybe somebody tried to say that.
Adam says we were told in air it out you can't kneel, and the guy was gonna kneel it out.
So Adam says we were told you cannot air it out and kneel it and air it out.
He's gonna die on his birthday, though.
That'd be like taking a sack.
Okay, now he's saying it was gauntlet. So the quarterback has to be he has to be a certain yards back.
It only takes a snap, but there's no kneeling rule in that because you can run right off the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
Yeah. So did he try to take it under center?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't think it was gauntlet either, though.
So Adam says air it out.
Yeah.
Adam says air it out. Kevin says gauntlet. Deuce says yeah. So I don't know.
That was the best comment out of all three. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now I will say in Southern California, and I know that this did go to other regions. The tough format, the sixes format that they play out there. If you kneel it, it is a penalty. So you and the clock will stop. Okay, and this is what's weird about it. So if the defense is losing and they get a sack, the clock will stop. If all passes have to go past the line of scrimmage, so they have some weird things there. So I mean, but that's like a very regional Southern California, kind of rule set. But I mean, I don't know. That would be, I guess, the similarity. Also, I mean, they also have, if you get a cover sack, wherever the quarterback was holding the ball, that's where the new line of scrimmage is.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that in some leagues.
Yeah. But
well, hats off to you guys. My kid won't even watch my own show, so hats off to you guys for getting him to watch your show. It actually it is his birthday today. If I can give him a little shout out.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, you didn't really ask. You just did it. So go ahead, I guess.
And that was it.
This is his birthday. I don't know how old he is. Don't ask me. I don't know what he's doing today either. So don't ask me that. But I will say, outside of 35 plus, he's the reason I'm a world champ. So I'll hats off to my son.
Well, there you
There
go.
we go. Oh, he's the little fast guy, right?
Well, I mean, a little yes, fast no.
Elusive,
I mean, he's faster than me, if that means anything.
Allegedly.
No, he's not somebody you would think is very athletic, but he's pretty athletic and he's pretty good.
Yeah,
Not a bad
yeah,
player.
no, I remember him. Yeah.
He doesn't. He calls me by my name. He doesn't like to let people know he's my son.
That was funny. What happened to your B squad? Is that team still functioning?
Not right now. A lot of those guys moved on to do their own thing. We kept it alive for the quarterback at the time because it was kind of his last hurrah. He's got some medical issues going on, so he just wanted to keep it going. We had that team for some of our friends that love to travel, and we all like to go together. We combined for bigger formats, but right now we don't really have that team rocking and rolling right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because the last time I officiated them, that was rough. I think I threw out one guy on the sideline, and I actually think the quarterback I might have thrown out of the game too.
Oh, probably. They get a little mouthy for sure.
So it was like the first pool play game of the day, and it was definitely novice or amateur for sure.
Yeah, they probably deserved it. I got your side here, Ian.
It was a rough game.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I love all those guys. I was glad they were part of it, and some of them combined with another team to do their own team, and they're going to go down to Worlds, and you'll see a lot of teams from up here, kind of some new teams and whatnot. So,
who's your guys' biggest rival when you guys travel? Have you built up like a rivalry with anybody?
A rival per se with practice squad, I would say is a very respectable rival we have. I love a lot of those guys. I've played 35 plus co-ed with them. We've talked about doing some tournaments with each other when we're not at Worlds and we can't find guys. It's always a close, tough game with those guys. America's Most Hated gave me my first ever tournament loss, and I've always waited for a return match against them. And I almost had it one year, but I tore my Achilles before we were able to play them like the next day. So I'm still waiting for my revenge game against those guys. And I know a lot of those guys, they know me, and we talk a lot. I say hi every time.
It led to you meeting me. It was still a win.
Yeah. Well, I got Ben out of it, so life's good.
Ben was here.
We play Rush a lot, and I don't know if they like us. I respect those guys. I mean, there's a lot of talent on that team, and too much talent to not win more. I know they just won something, and I think you're going to see a lot. If they stay together, I think you'll see a lot more Rush and them winning games. But we somehow get matched up against them a lot. So maybe those three teams, I think, unless I'm missing anybody.
That's a good group, though.
Adam or Kevin want to chime in.
Yeah, practice squad they're funny because like they're drunk 24/7. So like their sideline can be really bad, but it's all the random people. It's not players.
Yeah.
Like their sideline can get rowdy for sure. Their quarterback has like a similar last name to me. The spelling is a little different. So me and him, like for years, would interact on Facebook when I was still playing, and then out of nowhere, like he rolled up to a game, and I was like, "Hey, I don't know if we're cousins or what we are, but that's the situation." Like he's a guy that constantly says that I'm biased towards the other team, like I'm helping the other team. And I'm like, I thought we were cousins. But no, he's a funny guy. And America's Most Hated. Are they from Pittsburgh? I think that's where you guys are from. Yeah. What's the favorite location to play flag games?
Oh, well, I mean the year we played in Vegas on that mountain. I don't know.
Mesquite.
Mesquite.
Yes.
Yep.
Honestly, it was a little hot. I hate the heat, but the view was awesome. It just you couldn't beat it. And I don't know what it was about it. I played some of my best football I've ever played in my life then, and it just was a good view. I enjoyed it. That tournament to me, and it wasn't that big. There wasn't that many vendors there. There wasn't many food trucks. It was a good amount of teams, but it wasn't a big thing, which I'm not against, but just the view, the location, I thought that was great.
Those fields are amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the fields were really good. I do love the new place in Tampa. I hope that stays World's home for, as long as I'm playing. Off the top of my head, everything else has kind of been the same. I actually did like the New York location. I didn't like the field. I didn't like the
yeah, man, that place was
being under the bridge. The bridge was cool and stuff, but yeah,
until it rained.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. It's
Yeah.
really a nice way to put it because that sucked.
Well, I guess the last question I have is, do you guys like cheesesteaks?
No onions and peppers, but yeah.
Okay, and what kind of cheese do you put on it?
American.
Okay, fair
Not
enough.
cream cheese.
Hold on, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ben, set it up, man.
You went to
Yeah.
cheese, so I just
All right, I'll
okay.
go back to being a producer.
Have you ever tried any other cheese on it?
I've tried cheddar cheese.
Not really.
I've thrown feta cheese.
Oh.
I mean, I'm Greek. I grew up just eating blocks of feta cheese.
Okay, was it good?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay, that's would you if somebody melted cream cheese onto a cheesesteak, would you try it?
That's right.
Would I try it? Yes. I don't think I'd like it, but I do like cream cheese. So
It might be weird, but yeah, I'll try it.
Ben, be the hero I need. Say you won't try it.
I'd have to do the
Jesus Christ.
his mind's saying no, but his body's saying yes.
If it
Yeah.
looks okay, I'll do it. If it looks terrible, like nah, I probably won't.
Why? So Jacob won't do it?
No, it's disgusting, man. You don't put cream
No.
cheese on a cheesesteak.
You won't even try it?
I tried it. It's garbage.
No.
All right, that's fair. You tried it.
Hold
We
on.
just said we tried. That's
First
it.
off, there's
I
no
did
way
try
North
it.
Carolina.
Yeah.
No, there's no way North Carolina has a good cheesesteak in that state. Number one, he drove 45 minutes, had a cold cheesesteak, and then just plopped a mound of cream cheese on top of it, cold. Of course, that's going to be terrible. Like, what? Like,
All right. When you painted that picture, of course it's not going to
Yeah,
be good.
well, of course. Like that's not what actually happened. I mean,
Melted
that's-
cream cheese in general doesn't sound good.
thank you.
yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
There we go. Ben's back.
Oh no,
I
because
don't
you steered him in the right direction. Now he's back.
Hold on.
Hey, whatever it takes,
Don't
man.
you-
Whatever.
Don't you put cream cheese in Alfredo sauce? You don't like Alfredo sauce?
Thank
love
you.
Alfredo
In
sauce.
queso, in Alfredo sauce.
Not
put it in
on
dessert.
a cheesesteak.
No, I understand, but Ben said melted cream cheese, but trust me, I've watched Ben whiff down some Alfredo.
Hey,
wet
good
time.
God.
I mean, it's just all I'm saying is I worked at a cheesesteak place, and we would add the cream cheese on the grill, mix it all in, melt it, and we would put. I don't know if you like jalapeno poppers, but that was the idea behind it. So we threw jalapenos into there, and it was like a jalapeno popper cheesesteak.
I'll have to try it. I'm intrigued now.
Yeah,
God,
that's all I'm saying. If you try it and you do it that way and you hate it, I understand completely, but I think it's worth trying. That's all I'm saying. What's the go-to meal in that area of the country?
A go-to meal?
Yeah, like what are you famous for?
The chicken tenders.
What
do you eat?
Manchester, they're actually invented here supposedly.
Oh, that's true. They do have a place.
And we actually have a lot of places that do them. So.
What?
He's a big fan of chicken tenders.
In Manchester, it's the
They have like a
chicken tenders were invented.
a famous recipe.
There's a couple of places. One in particular that's really famous, but there's a couple that are kind of also like kind of slightly less famous, but also famous in the area for chicken tenders.
Me and Ben are gonna be best friends. This is fun. This is great.
Now I know why.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I gotta steal them from him?
Yeah.
Good move, John.
Yeah.
Now I know why I set this up.
Smart.
All right, cool. Now, let's have the adults talk now. Steve, John, what's an actual like meal that you could eat that area is known for?
I think roast beef is pretty good around here.
Clam chowder.
Yeah.
I mean, anything seafood. I'm always told when you go down, some areas don't order seafood. But we get a lot of good seafood up here.
Yeah.
New England is famous for its New England chowder. It's a big one.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, all sounds good. Yeah, Jacob's never had clam chowder, so
You're not really missing much, but it's not bad.
Jacob, what do you eat?
Dude, if you ask
easy.
Ant, that's
Is it mac and cheese too?
Well, duh. So look, here's all right. So
there's a place around here that does buffalo chicken mac and cheese.
That sounds really good.
So it's like the buffalo chicken tenders with the mac and cheese. Yeah, delicious.
I saw him scarf down 2 glizzies on Saturday. That's
Oh, here we
At
go.
the same time, that was the thing.
Nice. All one bite.
So look, so here's my philosophy on chicken tenders. Let me go ahead and lay this out for the world. So if I go to a restaurant and I look at your menu and I can't trust that anything's going to be good and you got tenders on your meal or on your menu, I'm going to order them. If they're not good, the rest of your menu is garbage.
I would 100% agree.
There's a lot of people that think that way. For sure. I don't blame them. I like to try new things.
I'm, not all heroes wear capes. Some eat chicken tendies, as a risk.
That's
But
fair.
it's not like you show up 10 minutes before everybody else and eat the chicken tenders, and then you're like, "Come on, guys, the tendies are good."
Well, depends on the place, but yes.
Yeah, it depends on the place. So shut up, Ant.
The Puritan, you absolutely would.
Well, Jacob, if you do like chicken tenders and you're up our way, you gotta try this place. I think you'll really like them.
All right. Well, look, we get done one of the days. What? We get done one of the days in Weymouth. I'm in.
Fun. It's the place is called the Puritan. Fun fact: it's Adams. Whenever Adam Sandler comes home to Manchester, he's always spotted there, and he was here this last week actually. So it's pretty iconic.
Dude, don't tell me that.
There you go.
You hate Adam Sandler? Or
I
you
love Adam Sandler, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
I couldn't tell where he was going with that.
It was weird. Like he was like, "Don't tell me that. I hate that guy."
No, I love it.
Jacob, you think Happy Gilmore 2 is going to be good? Or?
I think it's going to be excellent, man.
I can't wait.
There's very few things that man touches that do not turn to gold, in my opinion. And
Hold on.
Yeah. You ever
Hold
see
on, what-
Uncut Diamonds?
Here's your pixels.
Yeah,
Pixels
thank you.
wasn't the
Oh, that
worst, but like
no
was it
uncut.
Jack
What
and
is it?
Jill
Uncut
Bow?
Gems.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry,
wasn't-
Uncut Gems,
That wasn't
sorry.
great either.
You know what? I hated the way they ended that movie. That was
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I watched this entire movie for.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't have every movie end the same. I'm with you. I had the same opinion, but like,
Look, Barry Bonds didn't hit every home run that he, every at bat wasn't a home run.
Sometimes it's just a
When he was using steroids, it was.
No, just most of them were. You remember we waited quite a while for those last couple.
well, I mean, you were the one who said everything he touches turns into gold. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I tried
sure. You did say that.
I was just disputing that statement.
I said
Yeah.
I said most everything. Ben, back me up. Go ahead.
I would say at least from 1995 to 2008. After that's a little questionable, but
Well, that comes with age.
I don't know. I just feel like Dumb and Dumber was such a classic, and then they tried to make sequels, and it's like some movies just shouldn't be messed with.
Hold on, they made those really quick.
The final one with the actual original guys in. Did you guys enjoy that one?
It was fine.
I thought
Yeah, it was all right.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's slapstick comedy. That's all I need.
Right.
All right. What about Anchorman 2? That was really good, actually. Anchorman 2.
You either love or hate Will Ferrell.
Yeah,
and
it was
if you
kinda
hate
going
him, it was terrible. If you love him, it was
going
great.
downhill though. It wasn't like it wasn't as good as the first one. It was good.
No, definitely not.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. My dad hates Will Ferrell, like with a passion. He's like, does not want to even watch a single movie with that guy.
Yep.
Yeah, my brother
Lover.
Goose is that way too.
it's like an era for me too. It's like it's a certain era in like the 2000s. He hit some pretty good ones. Like was it Old School and Wedding Crashers? He's always a small piece of Wedding Crashers. Those were hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But then some of the newer ones, that's great.
I always wish they made more Austin Power movies. I think those were fantastic.
They were talking about making a fourth one, but I think it's still kind of on the back burner.
Yeah, he's gotten kind of old too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if Austin Powers could be made in this day and age. There was so much stuff that was like.
That's true.
And that's why it would be funny though.
Yeah, I think that's why it would be funnier.
Still make it sound work.
That's true
Yeah.
too.
Well, they're grandfathered in. It's a little different.
New season.
They just kept carrying it through.
Yeah.
Created principal PC, and we're able to keep going.
Yeah, it's so I don't know. It's crazy trying to watch like older movies with my kids because like I'll look at the ratings And what was rated PG in like 1987? It's not like it's rated R now, like 100%. Like everybody's smoking cigarettes. Like every movie starts with a guy taking shots of Jack Daniels, and I'm like, hold on, isn't this a Disney movie? Like, what's going on here?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm like, there's been time where my oldest like looks over at me and she's like, "Are you sure we should be watching this?" I'm like, at this point, I started it, so I kind of I'm just gonna roll with it, and we're just gonna have real conversations, I guess. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure my son learned a lot of things from the old movies that I explained to him.
yeah, sometimes it's the easiest way, you know.
It's a good teacher.
But yeah. But anyway, I'm amazed, guys. We just talked for like an hour and a half. Jacob's ready to go to bed. I can tell. So guys, I just
wake everybody up.
guys, before we get out of here and turn off all the live videos. By the way, Instagram had like across the board problems, so that's why we weren't live on Instagram. So our apologies. But Tambo Time, we just want to give you the chance to plug everything you guys are doing and what you have coming up next for yourself.
I mean, it's a lot of our shows are league based, so just liking and subscribing would really help us a lot. When we do the normal shows, feel free to listen, chime in, and tell us we suck or tell us it's kind of funny. Either one. But we'll do some regular shows every now and then. We have some in the archives. But yeah, just liking and subscribing is the biggest thing to help us kind of move the show on.
Yeah, especially on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and we're on Instagram too now, right, John?
Yep.
So it's Tambo Time on all those platforms. Or Tambo_time, I believe it is.
Tambo Time _1 on Instagram, but yeah,
YouTube. Well, thanks, John, for breaking it. The cadence.
It was already.
Well, in his defense, it was already taken.
It's quite popular. We were getting spammed by everyone else taking the domain. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, everybody saw how hot the show was, so they took it.
I totally bought that domain like 3 years ago. It's crazy. I don't even know why.
It was ever since that one game where you yelled at him.
Yeah.
All the table
show him.
Everything with Tambo has been bought up.
I've trademarked your last name. Sorry.
Jeez.
He's laughing too seriously. I don't know if he's kidding.
Oh, he's serious.
I'll get the rights back to you guys after this tonight.
You step on my field on a women's game, you pay the consequence.
I know.
Okay?
I made that mistake once and only once.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna sign off on here. Jacob, we don't need anything else to say, right?
No, that's it. Appreciate you guys for coming on. This was great. Really appreciate you guys talking to us, spending some time with us.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Not soon, though.
See you guys.
Maybe after Worlds when I get kicked off the Ants field.
Yeah, we'll bring you guys right on right after that.
You gotta figure out what word to call them, and then we'll be all set.
That's it.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Have a good night,
thanks. You guys too.
See ya.